Hello and welcome to another Coffee with Carl. This is the series where I get to dress up in my pajamas, share a cup of joe with you, and morning breath doesn't translate over video, thank God. Now, I've got to thank you all for your support. You guys have been telling me that you really like this series, and frankly, I do too. I really enjoy talking to you in a much less scripted manner. It's easier, and it's fun because there's a lot of things that I have thoughts on and have heard feedback from you about, and I would like to discuss. So this is a great opportunity. We're going to keep doing it, and it's good to see that you like it too. Otherwise, I'd just be doing something that people didn't want to see. The infield testing thing has kind of grown legs, and it's become a bit of an issue. People really like the idea of doing infield testing. Now, the thing that I have to reiterate is that there are expectations. I mean, if I'm giving you gear, then I need to get something back. And what I need is something that's very useful for people who are watching on the other end. And a lot of times, I think that people just get jaded by, ooh, free stuff. I get it, but that's not the point of this. So it's been overwhelming, the amount of submissions that I've gotten. As a matter of fact, I think I might have chosen the wrong platform to do it with. But either way, we're going to keep refining this thing, and the people who are going to do the first round of testing have already been notified. I'm going to get, like I said, I'm going to get gear to them, and we're going to start with that whole process. So that's not to say that more people won't be chosen, depending on your location and which products we're talking about, but I want to do this thing right, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. It's amazing how fast the weeks blend together, though. A lot of you liked when Chloe was on last episode. She's not here today, but some of you also didn't like it, like this guy right here. And that's okay. I mean, hey, some people aren't dog people. That's fine. But, this is my life. And being unscripted, we're going to have a little bit of random stuff, like dogs jumping over the thing here. Who knows what else might happen? We're just letting it roll. So let's talk about some of the things that have come out this week. I actually end up sending myself a little bit of a reminder list because a lot of interesting things are released. So one of the things that grabbed me right away, and this might not be right up your alley, is that Milwaukee released a set of earbuds. So they have their red lithium USB job site earbuds. Now, these, I would really be interested to see what they're up to, because for a long time in blue collar work, we used to have a radio going. And here in Connecticut, it was almost inevitable that you'd have a radio on the job site blaring 106.9, country 92.5, or classic rock 99.1. And that would be your soundtrack to the day. Unfortunately, radios have been completely banned from most job sites, which sucks. It really does. I don't know if you're like me, but I have to work along to music. The only time that music isn't playing is when I'm recording. Listen how quiet it is. See that? No music playing. But when I turn this thing off, you could be guaranteed I'm going to be rocking some Opeth or maybe Porcupine Tree, something like that. I don't know. But either way, I'm happy to see these, and I would really be interested to see if, in fact, Milwaukee took the earbud, like the Apple AirPods or whatever, and made it job site happy, like appropriate, that it has, I know with the AirPods and the AirPod Pros, you can have the kind of like feeling like you can hear everything around you, but you can also have your music. If these things are accepted on job sites, this is going to be a game changer. I know for a while there were I forgot who makes them, but they look like hearing protection. Like you can put them in and they're big and orange with like the blue cord that comes down. A lot of times people will have that, but that also plugs into your phone or has a little Bluetooth receiver on it. So it looks like you're wearing hearing protection, but actually you can listen to your music. And again, if it's against the rules, then I guess it is what it is. But I'm happy to see that Milwaukee is at least trying. I found that Milwaukee, I got to tell you, I'm completely bought into Milwaukee tools. For a long time, I love Makita. I had their stuff forever, and I basically got their stuff because the batteries would charge in half an hour. So when I'd be going to lunch break, I could put my battery on the charger and come back and it'd be completely topped off. The old nickel cadmium stuff, you couldn't do that. It would take like half the day to charge, although they had their advantages and disadvantages. But either way, I changed over to Milwaukee recently, and their stuff is just fantastic. Now I have their leaf blower, their pole chainsaw, of course, their impact driver, their drill, even some of their 12-volt stuff is really, really good. Their hacksaw is basically like, you could use that with everything. It's almost like the Swiss Army knife of battery-operated tools. So this is the company that I'm really looking at as far as battery-operated stuff goes. Let me know if your experience is the same. The Iron Snail, Michael from the Iron Snail, great YouTube channel, is coming out with something on the 30th. And I forgot what it is, but we'll just pretend like I do. This particular product that the Iron Snail is coming out with is going to be great because it has a lot of very great features and it's made of some interesting material. So go and buy that particular product, which is available from the Iron Snail on October 30th. So I think you'll be seeing this on the 31st. So go and check that out before it's sold out. White's Boots released their C350 Lace to Toe CS. Now again, the Lace to Toe, I remember for a while, I was looking into Lace to Toe boots, and I was talking to Grant, who worked at NIX at the time, and I remember him telling me about how the H&W last is a much more comfortable last than Lace to Toe, typically, more or less just because of the mechanics of the way that the boots were operating. Although I prefer the look of Lace to Toe, I only have one pair of them, and I did find that to be the case, that oftentimes it just seemed that they didn't flex as well as a traditional style boot. And I mean, what, derby style? I mean, whatever. I can't think of the term right now. Sue me. Anyway, these come in a whole bunch of different leathers, and they're $375 to start. White's stuff is very expensive. There are people who just love them and will buy nothing else. They are also one of the originals, so there's something to be said for that. But anyway, if you're into the Lace to Toe thing and you want yourself a C350, then yeah, go for it. Freenote Cloth has come up with a couple of different products in their 17-ounce black and white denim. It's basically a black warp, black warp, and a white weft. And this is Japanese fabric. Freenote Cloth makes some awesome stuff. Now, my issue with them is typically in their fits. I find that their fits are just a bit too constricting in the upper kind of chest arms area. They tend to be a little bit smaller. And if you're built that way, then that's great. If you're, a Polak like me, then maybe, you're a little bit more beefy and have some of that bulk, which really makes it difficult to wear things like that. And that's my one complaint with Freenote Cloth. I think their designs are beautiful. I really like the brand. And, I had a couple of their jackets, that RJ2, and then I had the Mariner once upon a time. And both of those had the same kind of issue where I'd put it on and I would sort of do this, and I felt like I was really just restricted. And that was just enough to keep me from wearing them very often. So that's my problem, and if you're of my body type, then just keep that in mind. But if you are a little bit slimmer, then maybe these will work out better for you. 1620 keeps coming out with releases. Last week, it was the Henley sweatshirt. I ended up picking up one of those. They're really nice. But this week, it's the soft shell work anorak, which is $275. But here's the thing, okay? I mean, yeah, okay, that price will make your eyes water. I get it. But I found that 1620 stuff is typically over-engineered and meant to really take abuse. So a lot of times they'll use Cordura on the arms, the backsides of the arms. I know that their work hoodie has I think the tech version has a Cordura kangaroo pouch and also the back of the arms, like I said. So a lot of times what you're getting is a very sorted out thing. And one of the things with 1620 that I admire is they're always pushing forward with their textiles. So 4-way stretch fabrics. I have found that the 1620 work pants basically feel like sweatpants, especially their shop pants. I basically lived in those things last year. And because of that stretch, it almost feels a little weird. It feels like you're wearing, like, I don't know. I've never worn yoga pants, but they're what I imagine yoga pants feeling like. I swear I've never worn them. You can't prove that I did. Now, I'm sure plenty of other things have come out this week. I know Wonder Looper, I think they came out with their hoodie. If you can't tell, I've been wearing these things almost religiously. These are the pants that are like my Saturday, Sunday pants. These are their sweatpants, and they are crazy durable. I mean, I can't believe how thick they are, but they're also really comfortable. So I think I've worn these in every Coffee with Carl since I've gotten them, because literally I wake up, I do the dishes usually, I'll take the dog out, sometimes she'll come up here with me, and then I'll shoot this video. So you see me wearing this is basically what I wear first thing in the morning, but I gotta tell you, these things are awesome. Matter of fact, I wanted to talk about this real quick. These are the Ariat or Ariat, however you say it, rebar tees, which I did a review on a while back. And a lot of times this is what happens. You get something, you use it for a month or two, you think you have a good feeling of how it's gonna be, and then you do a review on it. But when you wear it for a year or maybe more, you get an entirely different viewpoint. Now, it's very hard to go ahead and build a review channel based on that, because obviously, who has time to review something that's several years, in the making? Sometimes that product won't even be available, so that information is it's not good for anybody. What I've noticed with these is I actually do still like them. I would buy one. I usually go with the K87 because that's kind of tried and true. But one thing I've noticed about these is they pill like crazy along the neckline. So if you have a lot of stubble, I have a pretty heavy beard, and if you have a lot of stubble that kind of gets caught on this edge, it really makes a big difference and pills like there's no tomorrow. So that's one thing I will say. I didn't see at the time, and it only took a while to develop, but the rebar tees tend to do that. Besides that, though, they're great. Huckberry released something that looks a lot like a waxed Detroit jacket. Now, Huckberry jackets in general are very good for their price. I think that there were a better deal several years ago before they went up. They're not workwear though. Let me just get this out there, okay? I've done a video on this before. I know a lot of companies will claim to be workwear, and that's fine. You could say that you're workwear inspired, but in my mind, and I am by no means the one who makes the rules around here, but workwear is a product that is meant to provide protection, functionality, and durability first. Protect you on the job and do its job first. And everything else, looks, comes second. Heritage workwear or that kind of thing will prioritize looking cool, but you can also do work in it. The same way that you could go ahead and do a whole bunch of work in a Land Rover. But really, like a Chevy 3500 will be a better fit. So I think that there's a lot of blurred lines when it comes to true workwear. And where it's a problem is when people go ahead and buy heritage stuff and thinking that it's going to work well on the job. It's not the case. A lot of times, real workwear is kind of oversized because of, you need room to move. It may have extra pockets that don't necessarily look well, but they function very well. So I think that that's something that really needs to be kind of spoken about and people need to understand, because I don't think it's worth, if you're looking to look cool and you like the look of heritage workwear, then maybe you shouldn't be shopping at, Carhartt's mainline, Duluth Trading Company, Dickies, stuff like that, because again, the fits and the materials are meant for work. But companies like Huckberry and like Freenote Cloth, where their stuff looks certainly workwear inspired, I wouldn't say that it's workwear. I've never seen somebody actually really working in this stuff. Now, I know that Freenote Cloth's rider's jacket was in Yellowstone. That's also a TV show and not a real, ranch. But either way, I think sometimes the lines can be blurred, and it's important to know which category you're shopping in. Workwear tends to be less expensive and more functional, but it lacks oftentimes on the aesthetics department, whereas heritage stuff looks dynamite, might not function very well in a workwear environment, and also it tends to cost a lot of money. So this particular Huckberry release that looks a lot like the old Carhartt Detroit jacket, I think that it looks really cool. It's not triple stitch, doesn't have all the stuff that you would look for, and there's a world of difference between something like that and the Ship John Wills or the heat strap stuff or tin duck denim. That stuff I would say is, certainly workwear durable, but it's just something to keep in mind when you're shopping out there. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Somebody said to me, I don't think there's any coffee in that cup. Well, you're right. Actually, I drank all this, so there is no coffee in that cup. Coffee with Carl. I can call it what I want, okay? It's my channel. Watch your mouth, guy who I thought said something. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. I gotta go do some leaves.